This is a video walkthrough of one of the demonstration exercises for Fieldscapes. Very much a work in progress, but hopefully give you an idea about the way in which the Fieldscape system will function. What we're going to do here is we're actually going to go to the moon, and we've got two lessons here. One that's Explore, which is a fairly random exploratory type lesson. The second one is Educate, which is a very structured lesson, and that's the one that we're going to do here. So it's loading up the assets. And now all these pop-ups will then begin to sort of guide me through the lesson. You'll notice we're starting off without any avatar, and all the text and all the behaviours you're going to see are all defined by the exercise definition, and that can be created by anybody without any programming expertise. There's no need to use Unity or anything like that in order to create these exercises. So just work my way through these initial prompts. This is Chaz. This is a different style of pop-up, and she's going to act as my guide through the exercise. And she's just telling me to experiment with my first person camera so I can look around. And then she tells me to watch the lunar module come down and land. And you'll notice at the bottom there's a clock that's actually telling me sort of how far through the exercise I actually am. And once the lunar module lands, then we'll get our next pop-up. So she's basically saying that press next, and she'll show my avatar. And then I can actually move my avatar just using the cursor keys, and initially I can't go beyond this boundary until such time as she releases me. And now I can actually head out towards the video clip, so I shall head towards the green arrow. And as the system detects me entering that particular area, it then starts playing the video clip. Once the video clip is over, she's now telling me to look for the footprint, so I can see that on the ground there. So I can walk up and I can click on the footprint and I get an image of it, and in the final version be able to zoom this image right in. And she then says the next thing was collecting soil samples, and there's a photograph of Aldrin coming down the ladder. And the next thing to do is to go and have a look at the plaque that was shown on TV, so I can just walk around to the side of the lander here. And I can just scroll the mouse wheel forward to enter first person mode, so I can actually go and have a look at that in a bit more detail. And escape just to drop back into third person mode. And next thing I need to do is go and set the camera up, and we can see just around the corner there is the highlighted area. So let's walk out to where the camera should go. And there's the camera being placed on the moon for me, and she's suggesting I might actually want to position myself in the same place as the original photograph that was taken. And one of the inspirations for doing this particular exercise was just to put all these photographs in context, because I can actually quite easily now look around and get some sense of sort of how far they were from the lunar lander when they did each of these pieces of the experiment. So let's close that down. Next task for Aldrin was to go and put the solar wind experiment out. So again, let's head for the highlighted area. Let's clear that down. And here's a picture of the solar wind experiment on the surface and some information about it. And the next task is to go and plant the American flag. So just walk around, again walk into the area, and there's the flag and a photograph of it on the surface. And some more information. It says if I want to take a screenshot I can do. I just press F12 to take that, and we'll see later on how to make a selfie. So next Aldrin had to go and place two more experiments, and again the area for those is highlighted. So just walking out to where the seismic experiment was placed, and as I enter the area we can see again a photograph of the experiment and the experiment itself. Next one is to the laser ranging reflector. Again, that's just nearby. And again, photograph and some information about it. And then it says that Armstrong was busy collecting rock samples, and we've put a number of rocks on the ground, and we'll see later on how we can look at those in a bit more detail. But for now, we'll press next. And you see the system's then actually switched on an overlay, which is quite a nice diagram that shows us exactly where the astronauts went whilst we're on the moon, and in fact I can actually see this from several different viewpoints so to get a better sense of the area. And let's go back to first person, third person view. And Armstrong then went out to see a panorama, to take a panorama. So we'll head out. As you can see here, it's actually the track he took. Walking all the way out here, and this diagram is actually scaled in the whole model to the size of a soccer pitch, so as to give you a sense of the distances involved. So here we are, we're almost on the baseline for one team, and we can see there the lunar module somewhere probably close to the penalty area of the other team. Walk into the zone, and again the images appear. This time they're actually appearing in world rather than in the heads-up display, so we can line up reality and the 3D model. And Chaz is now going to give us a bit of time to explore the site before we need to be back in the spaceship. So for instance, I can go up to one of these image points, and as I position myself on an image point, then I can see the photograph that was taken from that particular position, again to give me context for some of these images. So let's follow the same path that Armstrong did. She's telling me I've only got a minute left now, so probably all to hurry, so I'll go into run mode so as to get myself back to the spacecraft. Just close that down. So you see we can actually set up timed events on the system as well as others, and there's another photograph that was taken of Buzz heading out to set up one of the experiments. Okay, so she's now telling us after about 2 hours on the surface, we've only spent about 5 minutes. Then they got back into the lunar module, had a bit of a kip, and she then suggests I move to a safe distance away before they actually launch the module. So we'll just head back out so we get a good viewpoint, and what I'll also do is I'll move into first person mode. We'll be ready to click on next, and there we are, and we can see the ascent stage heading back up to orbit to rendezvous with the command module, and they'd head back to Earth. And so now we've finished the structure part of the lesson, we're given a bit of free time just to move around and have a look at the experiments, find out a bit more detail about each one if we want to, go to some of the more of the image points. The one thing I just want to show you just now is a couple of things. First of all, in terms of actually how we can inspect something. So if we want to pick an object up that's been set to be inspected, then all I do is I just click on it and it comes up full screen, and I can zoom in on that. I can pan it, zoom a bit more, and then I can actually twist the rock around. And these are just sort of standard props, but for the field trips we've actually scanned proper rocks using photogrammetry, so as to get very detailed models of those rocks. You also notice that I've actually got a full heads-up display here now, so I've got a variety of different options. You saw me moving between the different views earlier on. We've also got a mini-map that we can bring up. I can switch this walk map on and off. I can also bring up a sample map that shows me where each of the individual rock samples was picked up from, and you'll notice we've actually made sure our rocks coincide with where those rock samples are as well. Switch that back off. And I can also, if I want to, switch off different parts of what's on the moon. So if I don't like the media locations, I can switch those off. And once we're finished with the exercise, then all we need to do is click on End Trip, and then we return back to the main menu. So it's very much a work in progress, but hopefully that gives you a sense of sort of what a Fieldscapes exercise might be like, and we'll gradually post more videos of some of the real world field trips we're doing. So hope you've enjoyed the video, and hopefully you'll join us for another video soon. Thank you.